Hey guys, want to do a quick review, a hands-on review of my newly acquired Arms and Armor Knightly Sword. I just purchased this about a week ago. Wrote some points down here that I'm going to go through so that there's a method to my madness here. And I'll give you guys some thoughts about it. I also did some cutting at the end, and you'll see that one of them was out of focus. Sorry, I tried. The milk check one was out of focus, but I'm not a great cutter anyway. So you'll just see what the blade does with my extremely limited skills of cutting abilities. Introduction. This sword is a replica from Arms and Armor from the Wallace Collection, A515, if I remember correctly. I'll have it in the description. It is not an exact copy because the replica does have a fuller. This doesn't have a fuller. This is a diamond shape sword, so it kind of goes up and down on each side. But it looks very nice. They kind of copied the upwards crossguard and the pummel style from the Wallace Collection that they replicated from. The length and everything, I don't know the specs on it. I think it's pretty similar, but it's a nice sword. It's definitely something that I think if a guy in the medieval ages picked up, that he would think it was from the time frame. So the sword is $680. I got it on a Black Friday sale with a 10% off. So it was a little bit less. Shipping is not cheap either. It's like $40-something. I think it's a little too much, but I don't do the shipping, so I don't know. That's it for the introduction. Full disclosure, I purchased this on my own. I didn't even know who they were till I just started doing some research. I'm new to this. So apparently Arms and Armor is a good company. They are what some would consider top tier. They compare it to Albion, which as far as I know is a top tier brand, and it's the holy grail of swords at reasonable prices, which reasonable being, you know, 800 to 1500. But that's the same with Arms and Armor. They have swords ranging from 680, the cheapest one they have, to swords I think up to 1500 bucks, if not more. So, but yeah, I purchased this on my own. Specs on this blade. It is very close to the factory specs. I have a micrometer, so I was able to measure everything out. So the blade width, factory is 1.75 inches, mine is 1.73. The blade thickness at the crossguard, this is for the distal taper, is 0.17 inches, and at the tip, it's 0.05. So there's definitely a distal taper to it. Let's see. Overall length of from the tip of the pummel all the way at the tip, from here to all the way on the pointy edge, is 38.75. Factory is 38. I don't know where they measure from. Maybe they don't count the little tip on the pummel, but it's very close. Blade length is minus 31.8 inches. Factory is 31.5. Weight for me was 2 pounds, 3.5 ounces. Factory says 2.25, so it's pretty much the same. Point of balance, factory says 5.5 inches. For me, it's 5.9. It's right around here somewhere. If you could see my finger. So grip length is 3.9 inches, minus 3.89. I mean, it's 3.9. Grip width is 1.2 at the crossguard. Up here, this does have a tapering handle. So it's 1.2 here, and then here it's 0.94. But if you look from a side profile, it also thickens as it comes down. So, and I'll talk about that in a minute. The crossguard is 6.2 inches, which is same as the factory. All right, let's talk about the components. The blade. The blade is hardened high carbon steel. I think it's 5160. I'm not 100%. I forgot to write it down. But it's a high carbon steel, very flexible. You'll see it in the cutting videos. It wobbles when I cut through the milk jug, even though it's out of focus. The finish is a brushed satin, which I really like. I can't stand the shiny finishes like Windlass has. It drives me crazy. I don't think in the medieval ages they had mirror finish on their swords. So the finish is very nice. If I look down, I mean, it is definitely top tier. I don't see any like hammer marks or anything like that. It's very, very reflective at an angle. I'd give it a 9 out of 10 with that. I mean, it's not like mirror smooth, but smooth enough. Does have a distal taper, so it thins out as it goes to the tip. Let's see. The width of the blade is 1.75. I wish it was a little bit thicker, but it does the sword well. It works. The length is almost 32 inches. So for a single-hand sword, it's a very good length. I think you're not going to get much more than that on a single-handed sword. I did get a sharpening service with this one because I told him I was going to do some cutting. I could tell the slightest of the slightest secondary bevel, but I think that's just, there's no way around it if they're going to sharpen it, you know, for you, unless they get like a whetstone, which they're not going to do. So I do see it, but it's extremely minor. It's not like what you would see on a knife or you took an Accu-Sharp or something to a blade. And it cuts really well. It's definitely a good cutter. I have a piece of paper here. Unfortunately, I can't cut paper. So that I'm unable to do. It's not paper cutting sharp. All that worked. You got to really pull though. So yeah, if you pull, it'll cut. Now I'm running out of space. Yeah, maybe I just need to get better at cutting paper. I don't know. But it won't come straight down. You really have to pull and get that, you know, paper kind of, you know, at that angle where it'll cut. But it's sharp. It'll definitely take off a limb if you're not, you know, if you're not careful. And it will definitely cut, I think, mats. And you'll see it cuts the jugs and soda cans like nothing. The guard. I love the guard. It's an unusual look. I'm not a fan of the look, but I love the thought about it. Is I would assume is that if the blade came, there's no way that blade's going to slip off and cut your hand. There's no way that blade's coming out. Not to mention, if you had some skills, like major skills, I think if a blade came in, I think you could twist them out and have them like maybe drop their sword. I don't know. But it's a different look. I like it. Again, it's not for everybody, but I think it looks pretty cool. And I think it has a thought behind it. Let's call it medieval tactical. See, handle. Handle is made out of leather. Feels pretty good. It's pretty good. Nice stitching. I can barely feel it. It's pretty good. There's a different taper to it. You can see it's thin, gets kind of big. It's the same over here. It's hard to get a hammer grip on this, but it's very nice to get like a handshake grip at an angle. It really fills in this flat void right here, and the circular area fills in nicely. It really allows you to control the thrust, especially like right here. If you were to do some cutting in this area, it feels really good. At the tip, it gets a little hard. But yeah, so it's not for everybody. You'd have to try it. I'm new. I haven't tried a lot of handles, so I don't really know. But this feels pretty good. The pommel. Pommel is good. It looks kind of out of alignment. Not alignment, but it's just something is off with it. I can't really tell. I guess it's hammered, but I don't know. Something feels off about it. It's hard to, I won't be able to tell on camera, but it's good. They did a good job, except just like a little wave to it. If you were to look at this angle, you could kind of see it. It's not perfectly squared off, but it's okay. Scabbard. No scabbard, guys. You can get a sheath from them, the leather one, for $175. It's too much, way too much. I can have someone make me a basic scabbard for around $200, a wooden core scabbard. I'm not paying $175 for a leather one. Granted, I'd have to wait a little bit, but yeah. So very disappointing. You know, they have swords for $200, sending out a scabbard, whether it's wood core or not. It's something to put the sword in. I mean, this is sitting in my safe, you know, just exposed. I'd really wish that I could put it in something just to kind of cover it. So it's disappointing. We could have included a really basic one. But handling. It handles well. I'm new to swords, so I don't really know how exactly it would compare to other swords, but it handles well. I feel like it's a little front heavy for a single hand, but again, I just don't have the experience to really compare. So, but I was able to cut with it. I'm very new. I need more, precision with my cutting. But unfortunately, there's no heme or anything like that around here, so I have to self-teach through YouTube. So it's not the best way to do it. But for what I can tell, yeah, I've definitely, it handles like a well-balanced sword. Test cutting, you'll see the videos. I'll put them at the end. You'll see how I did. It cuts well. I'm not a good cutter. I'm a new cutter. So, for me to get the video, I had to cut some portions out. But, some of them I totally missed the milk jug or something, because I was trying to cut the tip off to look cool, but it wasn't working. So I edited it just to the cutting part. You'll see it. Conclusions. Pros. Great sword. I'd call this an above average, high mid tier maybe. So if you're looking for something a little better than a windlass, you know, or a Paul Chen or whatever, yeah, I'm a big believer in made in America stuff. This is made here locally. So it is, it's a good sword. So pros, made in USA, good quality, and you get what you pay for. Cons, the pommel. Something's off about this pommel that kind of bothers me. It's just, it wasn't done perfect. Maybe that's just, I guess, part of a handmade process. But I'm going to put that as a con because it's been kind of bugging me. Another con, I really wish it came at least with the sheath. I know it's $175, but I wish they included it with the price. Maybe make this a little bit more, you know, make it $730 or $720, but then include everyone with the sheath. Whether you like it or not, you're getting one. I really think they should have had that. So, bottom line, great sword. Handling is something worth checking out because of the different grip style that you have for the sword. But bottom line, should you get it? Yeah, if you're looking for an above average, high, mid-tier sword made in USA, this is really, you don't have too many options unless you go to Albion and, you know, you wait a year to get something for $900, or their Squire line for $500. That's not sharpened, which is another year wait. You really don't have a choice but A&A. I mean, it's really your only bet to get something that's made here for around $700. So, bottom line, yeah, if that's what you're looking for, get the sword. All right, I will now end this, and I'll put the cutting stuff at the end. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll try to do more of these if I can get more swords. So, have a good one.